If you don't pay your taxes to the IRS, what happens depends on why you didn't pay and whether you filed your tax return. In most cases, the IRS starts with notices and gives taxpayers opportunities to resolve the balance before taking stronger collection actions. Here's the typical process. 1. The IRS sends a bill notice and demand for payment. The notice shows the tax due, plus any penalties and interest. Interest generally continues to accrue until the balance is paid. 2. Penalties and interest accumulate. If you filed but didn't pay, you may owe a failure to pay penalty plus interest. If you didn't file your return, the failure to file penalty is generally much higher than the failure to pay penalty. 3. The IRS sends additional collection notices. These explain the balance due in your options, such as paying in full, requesting an installment agreement, or, if you qualify, seeking other relief. 4. Federal tax lien possible. If the debt remains unpaid, the IRS may file a notice of federal tax lien, which is a public claim against your property. This can affect your ability to sell property or obtain credit. 5. IRS levy possible. If you continue to ignore the notices, the IRS may levy seize certain assets after providing the required notices and waiting periods. This may include wages, wage garnishment, bank accounts, certain federal payments, in some cases, other property. 6. Passport restrictions for seriously delinquent tax debt. If your tax debt exceeds certain thresholds set by law and meets other requirements, the IRS may certify the debt to the U.S. Department of State, which can affect your ability to obtain or renew a U.S. passport. If you can't afford to pay, file your tax return on time to reduce penalties. Request an installment agreement if you need to pay over time. Explore whether you qualify for an offer in compromise or currently not collectible status. If you have significant financial hardship, will the IRS send you to jail? Simply being unable to pay your taxes does not usually result in jail. Criminal cases generally involve willful tax evasion, tax fraud, or intentionally failing to file returns, rather than just owing money. In summary, the most important thing is not to ignore IRS notices. Even if you cannot afford to pay your taxes right away, you should still file your tax return on time and contact the IRS as soon as possible to apply for a payment plan or other relief option that fits your situation. Doing so can often reduce penalties and interest and help you avoid more serious consequences, such as a federal tax lien or asset seizure.